You'll have to say something.
Yeah.
You want to sit over there, Ron?
Say again?
You want to sit over there? You don't want to sit up here with us?
Well, that was for Targ, I mean, he's the city administrator, but he is in another meeting right now, so. No, I'm fine right here, if you are.
Yep. All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Everyone have time to review the last agenda from...
I did, and I'll make a motion to accept it.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
Harlan will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. New business. Election of officers. All right.
Tom obviously was our chair, John Byer is the vice, and I am the current secretary. We want to change it, or I guess I would appreciate one motion instead of three different ones.
What's that?
I would appreciate just one motion
Oh,
for all three of them.
okay.
We just keep them where they are, right?
Was that a motion?
Is that a motion?
Well, I asked the question. We can keep to it.
Yes, yes, you can do whatever you like.
I'll make a motion to keep them where they are.
Any seconds?
Second.
All right, Paul seconds that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Did that make it easier for you, Secretary Ron?
Thank you.
All right.
We want to make your life easier.
All right, new business, meeting schedule.
We are scheduled for the fourth Wednesday at 5 PM in City Hall here.
So we're
Obviously,
meeting Monday.
yes, that is incorrect, obviously. Monday.
Fourth Monday.
Quarterly, right?
Quarterly.
Quarterly.
Correct.
So that's 4 meetings a...
4 meetings a year, and so far this year we had to cancel 2 of them.
Because we didn't quarter.
Yeah. I think everyone's just been so busy with being able to get out and about now, with the COVID restrictions being released. I mean, I don't mind keeping it the same. Do we absolutely need 4 meetings a year? I mean, do we... I mean, I can see on our busy years when we have a project going on, but, you know, once we get further into the meeting and start looking at 2022, we don't have a project.
You know, we could do just like we've been doing, if we don't have anything, just cancel them.
Yes.
I hear that.
All right.
Go as needed.
Yep.
Plan on quarterly, but if there's no new business, then
Cancel.
Yep.
cancel it.
You know, because I think in years past, one of the big reasons for the meeting, you know, some of the meetings, if you looked at past notes, was the flying and the air show. That's been kind of taken over by that private nonprofit. So
Right. Yep.
there's not too much that we have to discuss here as a group for that yearly project.
Right. Correct.
So as far as if there's any regulations that need to come up, then we'll have to meet,
Yeah.
regulatory stuff. So.
Right.
I'd say, or if we're gonna do a project or, you know, crack ceiling, I think we're talking about that tonight, so. But that's not a yearly.
Right. We should have a motion on that too then.
All right.
I'll make a motion to meet quarterly or as needed
All right. and
on
I'll-
Mondays, fourth Monday at 5 PM City Hall.
And I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Air program.
Okay, the AIR program, Chuck apologizes, he could not be here. He had another commitment, but we do have the airport infrastructure renewal program. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It is through the deed, and it is somewhat based on employment. They want to see additional people employed. Eligibilities, counties, airport authorities, eligible projects, redevelopment of existing or new construction for public and private infrastructure. I guess the one project that kind of stood out in between Chuck and myself would be to try to build a FBO or a building at least, so we could try to get a mechanic in here. I know that's been talked about in the past. Obviously, for this year, I don't think we would ever do it. The grants are due on, what is it, 10/29 of '21? But it is an annual thing, so it is something, if we would find somebody that we could partner with, because the matching grants come from local or private government agencies, you know, so it'd be nice if we could team up with a private person and get something going in that direction. So, questions,
So a grant, it's not payable back then, right? That's,
this portion is, yes. But it's a 50/50 match,
right.
and it's limited at $250, or $250,000.
They're saying they're not gonna build much of an FBO for $250.
Much of it, I mean, not,
You look at, you know, Hangar 99, that's what did we figure out? That was like 60, 70,000 to build
yeah. I think we had Ryan Frank price it out, it was like 75.
without the concrete.
Yeah.
And anytime you go through a grant like this, the costs are gonna go up by another 20%.
Yep. You know, I think,
Because you have to meet all the federal requirements, and so,
you know, I think it's something to look at, especially getting an FBO building. And I know when Friends of the Airport is meeting out there, you know, we've talked about it, you know,
Tom, what's FBO?
it's a fixed based operator, so it's
Okay.
like the gas station of the airport.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of FBOs have, you know, it's, so pilots can go in there and do their pre-flight planning, sit down. Instructors, you know, like Harlan, he's been instructing a lot out there, can sit down with the students and go over stuff. You know, and I don't know how much time you spend out at the airport, Paul, but with the activity I've seen, it's getting busier.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of flight schools that are coming out of St. Paul because that's their 50-mile cross country that's required to get their private pilot's license nowadays. You know, it'd be nice if we could sit down and come up with a project. And, you know, if this is something that's annual, you know, who says we have to build the hangar right away? Why can't we build the FBO portion of it, you know, the office portion and something like that, and slowly expand on it instead of having that one big project? You know, we get the initial building there, then we start reaching out to mechanics and saying, hey, this is what we're working on. You know, we got a grant in, is this something you'd be interested in, and go from there. But, I mean,
Or a hangar and then add a side on for the FBO later.
Yeah, that's,
Because if we had a hangar big enough, we could put 4 or 5 airplanes, and maybe we could rent them out as community hangar space.
yep, use that as our overnight
You'd
hangar
have to have-
space instead
You have to
of,
have enough room to put at least 4 airplanes, otherwise no one's gonna be able to turn wrenches with less than that, because you gotta have
room.
you gotta have room.
especially if you're doing
Well, here's
like,
a thought for you, is on occasion I've seen, military Chinooks come in and refuel. And who's to say that we couldn't somehow ask maybe Ripley, the Army, Armed Forces to maybe help out with this? Somewhere along the way, because if they're gonna use that as part of their training, so the pilots can get their hours in,
yep,
wouldn't be a bad idea. So, because it says the funding can come from anywhere, private, state, federal.
right,
But now, as far as reaching out, I would have no idea where to go.
I don't know.
That's why you guys get the big bucks.
Well, that's the problem, there's not enough people out there turning wrenches.
and there's not many schools left. I mean, what is there, one in Minnesota
There's 2.
Thief.
River Falls, and Superior.
and Superior? Oh yeah, Lake Superior College.
that's the only 2 mechanic schools there are.
In the state of Minnesota.
I mean, Alexandria got rid of their program.
Well, does UND still have it?
But not
Not
AP.
mechanics.
Pardon me?
Not mechanics, not maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Just flying.
Do we have numbers on, you know, how are we doing with renting out Hangar 6 as a daily rental, monthly rental? I mean,
I don't have that in front of me, it's up and down.
have you seen an increase in our fuel sales out there?
Compared to last year, I would say we're about the same.
About the same.
It has really not increased this year, which I thought it really would have.
I mean, you talk to a lot of people in this industry, and
It was pretty busy last year.
There's always,
yeah,
but there's always somebody out there fueling.
Last year was busy.
Yeah, I said, last year, pretty busy.
yeah.
Well, did you have the same restrictions as the regular airlines? You didn't?
No.
Oh, okay, well,
Oh,
there you go.
yeah.
Personally, I hate to say it, but I mean, I wish we could look at something for this year with this grant. I mean, if the money's there and if we can do it every year,
But it's gonna be matched somehow.
yeah. well,
Now, and is there a minimum number?
No,
I know this sounds a little petty and silly, but it'd be nice to have like a split AC unit in that little pilot lounge that we have now. And it wouldn't have to be very big, I mean, it's pretty tiny. But it has, a you know, the new ones have heat pumps, so it'd also get a heat for it too.
yeah.
Just for the hot days like coming up this week. And then if you just had locked the box, we're just staying at 75, you don't need it at 72 or anything, but
Yes.
You know, with the air show coming up, it'd be a good time to maybe do a little digging and see if anyone would be interested in helping out. Or finding out information of who or how to get some funding so it can help match it. Because we can bring this up to the city council, and I can tell you it's probably gonna get shot down.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people on the city council and they're like, well, I don't really like the idea since we're under such a tight budget as it is. So that's kind of that song and dance.
I guess for the air show, we're bringing a portable AC because that's one of the requirements for the FAA.
Okay.
That's not mine.
That'll be in the,
Is that,
In the pilot's lounge.
pilot.
it is Sean's, because he lifted it right
Well, that's
there.
actually, that's not for the FAA, that's for the show.
That's for the show pilots,
Sure.
That's one of the requirements.
to try to keep them cool.
Understandable.
Aren't they gonna be camping under,
No, there's the spectators.
That's the spectators. The air show pilots, we have to supply hotel rooms for.
Yeah.
oh boy.
So,
I wonder, is there somebody that would be willing to donate it? You know, I could get a price on it, and
baby,
let me talk to Dale Klein, see if he'll give us a steal on it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe they have one that they misfit.
Yeah, right.
You never know.
I'll follow up on it.
okay,
Yeah. but That's a pretty small. That's a pretty good.
Yeah, just have them,
But I suppose if you're gonna ask the city for $1,000 or $1,500 and then, yeah, it's not that much.
it's as often as we meet out there, it'd be worth it for the $1,500.
That's that.
As often as we meet out there. You know, yeah,
That's something to look into though.
I think there are some good things to our airport and there are some downfalls to our airport. But it's picking up out there. I mean, you always see that aviate school out of
Yeah.
Crystal here.
Yeah.
How many hangars are empty right now?
None.
Not,
They're all full. Okay.
That's what I thought, you know, if you did a hangar, just make a big one where you could get a
Yeah.
King Air, a Pilatus in, and if that never happens, at least you can rent
At
it
least
out.
put 3 or 4 in there,
Right,
and get a mechanic in there.
at least you have something to offer.
Right, right. I think that'd be more important than we build the FPO, the office later.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on that?
do you want us to throw a plan together at all, or,
Maybe at the next meeting, well, kind of.
probably shoot?
But that's not gonna happen this
shoot-
year. I
No.
mean, that would happen for the 2022 grant. Unless we can find something with the air conditioning unit for this year.
I guess the biggest thing is how would we come up with a match?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it, because, yeah.
well, I have an idea, maybe you could meet with Chuck to see if, what would be feasible and pricing, just so we get a ballpark, so we have a figure we can work off of.
Yeah.
Could do that, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, anything else on that? Looks like you're up next, Ron, with the review of the CIP.
Yeah, Chuck was gonna do this one also. Obviously, 2019 and 2020 are past. 2021, we paid back the city of Buffalo. 2022, we are paying back the city of Aiken and then the city of Litchfield. 2023, we do not have anything programmed. 2024 is the complete rehab of the runway. MnDOT did come out this year and did the pavement inspection. And really, they asked us and felt very strongly that we should do a crack sealing project. We got the pricing on the crack sealing project, and it was like $175,000. And we told them, no, we're not going to spend that kind of money on something that's going to we're projecting, and after discussing it with them, they agreed. So it's a possibility in 2024, you know, the rehab, we could, looking at moving it up a year to 2023, because if you go down the runway, there are some cracks.
She's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and obviously that is gonna take discretionary funding, which rehab projects like this, apparently they rate extremely high. So the chances of us getting the discretionary funding are probably 95%. So that is kind of the gist of what we wanted to make sure everybody was aware of, is that, you know, MinDOT did the inspection, came back, yeah, we got big cracks out there, and it really doesn't pay to fix them at this point. So 2023, 2024 at the latest, we will likely rehab the entire runway.
Where are we at on maybe across the taxiway?
So like in here,
Let's see.
2020, yeah.
Yes, it goes in 2026, huh?
I saw her, I was looking at it.
Well, that would be the environmental, looks like 2027, fiscal year 2027, construct the parallel.
Yes.
How does that work? Because I was on a Freeport, not Freeport, on Fairmont. They took their existing runway, made that the taxiway, and built a new one.
Oh. I'm sure that, you know, if something like that would, the only thing is, obviously, I don't know if we have that kind of room here.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just thought it was kind of a neat idea. So
It
instead of
is.
rehabbing the runway,
Right,
they just made a taxiway and built a new runway, and then they never closed the airport.
right. Yeah, that would be nice if we had a crosswind runway, so you wouldn't have to close it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even if you, as you're constructing the new one, you can still use the old one when you open the new one, then the old one just gets remarked as a taxiway.
That's what St. Cloud did too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a neat idea.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of spending money to rehab a runway and, of course, then you're building a new one, but I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, if you're looking at 2027, you, I don't know if it's possible or not in the planning stage.
I can make a note of it and
Yeah, just,
have them look at it.
That's Chuck.
Yeah.
and then can we get a little bit more room out of it if we were to make it, build a new runway, can we get it longer?
I think the ultimate goal is 4,000 feet.
So
Yeah.
another 700.
Yeah, so it'd be 700 feet longer than it is.
And then would it be a higher weight restriction than 12.5 for the weight limit?
That, I think we need to do too, yes.
And then we're looking at getting jet fuel, because now you can get some stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe like roughly what Canopy would be, 4,300, something like that.
So if we did 43, we'd have to be 1,000 feet longer.
Without a displaced threshold.
Yeah. I wonder if we could do a displaced on the east end.
On
The east end,
On the east end, not on the
not
west
on the
end.
west end. So for takeoff, that would give you,
Yeah. But then landing, you'd be kind of closed if you could only use three, you know what I mean? Because Sears Camp doesn't want to come in here because they want 3,500. So you'd have to be, make sure the wind's out the right direction. Or a direct crosswind.
but you could roll out on your landing onto the displaced, right?
True, but you can't use it for landing if you're landing to the east or the west.
Yeah. But they need it for takeoff.
They- Right, so really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because then that would give us a little bit more room up towards the highway end.
Right.
You know, even if that's another 300 feet, and then you go 700 feet on the other end, well, now you got 4,300 for takeoff.
Yeah.
And, you know, as it's been brought up in the past too, you know, we get that parallel taxiway, and that's gonna give us that extra buffer for the little deer family that like to come out of the cornfield at the last minute.
Okay.
Has that been an issue?
Last year.
Yep.
Last year was terrible.
Last year we had a couple of close ones.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we got a little The beans are nice, I think you can see them now. The corn last year, you couldn't see them until I just
Sure.
said it was
And when was
one
that?
leap across the thing, you're like,
Was that 2019 when a deer, or a plane hit a deer out there?
here?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Never got reported to me.
No?
Who hit the deer?
You'll be the last to know.
That's okay.
I don't remember who hit it. Cody took the report.
And we sat out there waiting for two of them to get off the runway one day.
I have last year, I had a couple times as a student, but it's good, it's good training.
Yeah. Good training.
But it's expensive training. That could get expensive in a big hurry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the beans are nice, I gotta admit, I like the beans this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you guys, if you could clear it up.
Sure.
Yep.
It says payback entitlements to Buffalo Aiken and Litchfield. What does that mean?
That was money we borrowed from them to build the new hangars.
Oh, okay.
If you look at, we get the $150,000 each year of entitlements.
Mm-hmm.
The city had like 450 built up, but we needed another, I think it was 450.
Sure.
So we borrowed from those three communities and pay them back in each of these years.
Gotcha.
And then the same goes vice versa, when they need a project, then we do the same thing, they pay us and we send our money that way.
Correct.
Sure.
So
All
every
right.
5 years, we have enough money where each airport can do a project without wasting money.
What is the interest on those? Do we get charged interest or anything when we
No,
borrow
we
money?
don't get charged and they don't.
Okay.
No,
So it's a cheap way
there's
of
actually
borrowing
no
money.
transfer of money within the city. It's all done at the state level.
Okay.
So
So I mean, it's a cheap way of borrowing money
it is, yes.
to do our projects.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Yeah. It'd be nice, not to go back to, in 2023 when we update the ALP to do, instead of the crosswind runway, doing the parallel taxiway in that one instead of the
I think
crosswind.
that's much more critical than crosswind
I
runway.
do too.
Boy, I've been close a few times up there.
Is there a way to change that for that?
Is that, because
For fiscal year 2023?
how long of a crossing runway are we gonna have? You know what I mean?
I don't even know where the plans are anymore for that. We have them somewhere.
I'd rather just have a parallel taxi than a crossing runway.
Yeah.
Should I have them change that?
I'd entertain it, because if we can only do a crossing runway, that's only be 3,000 feet,
Yeah, I'd rather have the 4,300.
Again,
Parallel
taxiway,
taxiway.
parallel taxiway is a safety issue. Crosswind runway is kind of nice, but it's not really a safety issue.
And that doesn't mean you couldn't make a grass runway, a parallel runway, kind of like Wilmer,
It's true.
Crosswind of grass.
the crosswind grass.
Yep.
It can be in Wilmer. I think
That would be
Sauk
nice.
has
I wouldn't
that.
mind crosswind grass, I mean, that would be,
I think Sauk has the same.
yep.
So yeah, I would entertain taking the crosswind runway out of the 2023 update and turning that into the parallel taxiway. We don't need to do a motion or anything on that, do we, Ron?
No, we will change it and then at the next meeting, this will need to be approved.
Okay.
So it can be submitted in the fall.
Yeah.
Anything else on the CIP?
Nope.
All right, old business. Air show update 2021. It's almost here.
Yes.
2 years in the making.
Yep.
Like me and Ron were talking before the meeting, we have 5 air show acts this year, which is quite a few compared, I think, to years in the past.
Yeah, the most we ever had was 2.
So,
It'll be a hell of a show.
I think it's gonna be very good. I think it's gonna be busy. You talk to a lot of the other people, like Canby does a Father's Day air show when the weather was crappy. Do you have something?
Yeah, keep talking.
Oh. And the weather was low ceilings and misting that day, and they were busy. I mean, but I think everything's coming together next week, Wednesday. We're gonna be starting the setup process. I think the setup is gonna be the biggest hurdle we have to go through, so there'll be 3 long days out there. We have a lot of support from the community. We got just shy of $15,000 in sponsorships from local businesses.
It's huge.
I think people are excited. I got an email on Friday or Saturday from a guy that owns a coffee shop in Cold Spring. He was at the Fargo Air Show and heard them talking about the Painesville Air Show and asked for a flyer to hang up in his coffee shop, so I dropped that off this morning and talked to him.
Do we have a flyer here in the city hall? Otherwise I have one in my car.
I got a couple in my car too.
We'll leave one here. We can hang one up here in the city.
Yeah, there should be,
Is there
yeah.
one up there?
No, I don't see it.
We'll leave one here.
Yeah. You know, I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good to get that rolling again.
It'd be good to have it behind us.
It's gonna be very good to have it behind us.
You have any signage or anything by the motels or Quick Trip?
We're gonna, Wednesday we're putting up banners.
Okay, let's say the sooner the better with that.
Yeah.
Although, if storms come ripping through, they can destroy it.
Yeah, so I think that's,
All over again, which we did that before too.
we sent out about 180 posters to all the airports in Minnesota, all the flying clubs. Is something we did differently this year, and posted it on Facebook, and we're sitting just shy of 12,000 views on Facebook just in the last couple of weeks. Porta potties are ordered. Ron, did you order a dumpster?
Not yet.
Okay. You know, we have, 4 fire departments that are gonna come in and help us to make sure we meet the FAA requirements of our fire response, and Stearns County Sheriff's Department, they're providing explorers to direct traffic and help with security. Civil Air Patrol is coming down to help with concessions. As you know, it's a free event. So the money we make off concessions and the ramp dance goes into the 2022 air show. And, you're new to this, so just to kind of give you a glimpse of what it costs, one air show act for 12 minutes is $7,000. So,
Okay.
that's our most expensive act, and they go down all the way to $500. So it's not a cheap thing to put on.
Last one I went to was, I think, right around 2010, 11.
Was that out here?
There was one here right around that time, but there was a double wing
Oh,
that was here. And there's I think another gal left that morning from Chicago and flew up here and did her stuff.
Here at Painesville?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the FAA is coming in to do the.
They backed out on the temporary control tower because of COVID,
but the FAA will be here.
but the FAA will be here inspecting
Okay.
us. I think we're gonna be busy, and I literally hope all of our parking spots are filled up. I hope, the 3,000 hamburger patties I have ordered and the 800 hot dogs are all sold, so I don't have to eat leftovers, and
Thinking about parking, so now the city owns the land in front of the funeral home too, right?
Correct.
Is there anything there that we can't park on if we were to park on that spot, if we were to?
Well, the council authorized the parking over there, so.
Okay, so any of the city land that's not the funeral home we can use?
Yes.
Because that's a lot of land there.
There is. You can put a lot of cars
I
in.
didn't realize you had that lot in front of the funeral home.
Yes.
It's just a matter of accessing it, but.
And the funeral home is available too for us.
Right, and
So
then all behind it and then all the way back
Yeah.
to the west, that's a lot of
If
land.
you'd fill that up, there's gonna be
What did you figure, 450 spots?
would you have any
That was just on the one chunk.
you're gonna be going back tomorrow.
transportation for older senior
We
citizens?
got a people mover coming, Fagan Fighters is bringing up, their people mover that they use at their air shows.
Perfect. Because I know that there's a lot of senior citizens that,
Yeah.
they, especially with the summer being so hot and stuff, they're just gonna flock to it, I can tell you that.
yeah.
I
So,
mean, even the simple things is that down at Veterans Park, that music,
Oh,
and that place fills up pretty good.
That's pretty nice.
And, they're just gonna, well, I know my folks have already put it on their calendar quite a while ago. So,
well, and we're gonna, we're gonna have a lot of handicap parking up front, right up front.
Way up front.
okay, sure.
When you pull into the airport, all those spots we're gonna turn into handicap. Now, when we submitted the permit, and now, I guess we don't need the permit, but we asked to have no parking from Airport View Court to, Airport Road. And the reason for that is we don't want cars lining the roads there and then people that don't want to wait for the people mover darting out from that, between cars. Is that something Public Works will post, or is that the police department?
Generally, that would be police department.
Okay. So since we didn't technically need the permit, we should probably reach out to the PD and
Yeah,
get
just
that.
make sure that's, sure, I can do that for you.
Okay. I think that's, we want to make this a safe event, and I think, you being a bus driver know exactly what I'm talking about, people darting between cars and, trying to keep that down.
Sure. They get a piece of paper and they drop it and they want to grab it and they don't look to see what's coming.
So no, I think it's gonna be busy. We're trying some stuff new this year, with the ramp dance as a fundraiser to go towards the 2022 air show. So I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Is the city planning on mowing maybe the week before or week of? I know there's not
yeah.
a weeds to knock down, but.
Absolutely.
I hope so. They got a fairly new lawnmower.
But maybe the parking
Yes.
area, I know there's a.
You want
That's
to
why I
mow it
asked.
like the Wednesday before? Or we could possibly mow it this week and then the Wednesday prior to? Because I've seen there's a lot of weeds out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, nothing crazy, but like the parking area,
Yeah.
I'd rather see a mower go through there before you start parking a car so we don't park outside.
Yeah.
Some of that's not bad. There's just one patch in front of that one lot for the funeral home. I was like, is there something we're not supposed to be in? Because it looked like. it
That's a little rougher over there?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, maybe that's why. All right.
So you want to plan on mowing it that Wednesday before then? Okay, so then the stuff we're setting up, we'll make sure that we're not pounding posting on Wednesday for the fencing and all that stuff.
Let's see here.
Otherwise, if we need, we can mow Tuesday also. It don't.
Tuesday might be better,
Tuesday better.
Tuesday would be better.
Then we're all set and done, ready to roll.
because I'm hoping they come out Monday or Wednesday to do that locate.
Sure.
Because they're gonna come out Friday to put,
Yeah.
Go for the generator.
oh, yeah, well, that and the VIP tent. We need the locate for the,
Stakes.
yep.
Gotcha.
So, and then I think I talked to you about just some barricades, the
Yep.
A-frame barricades, parade barricades, so. No, I think we're getting a lot of positive feedback on it so far.
A lot of excitement.
A lot of excitement, we did a float in the parade and handed out airline pretzels instead of candy. Like, we had candy too, but the main thing was the airline pretzels to keep it aviation themed, so. And, you're gonna be out there, Ron, grilling hamburgers.
It will be.
That's gonna be your biggest hurdles in concessions.
So, but yeah, we have a lot of support from the businesses in the community, so it's great. We appreciate that, so.
All right.
And we even having someone fly in from Colorado for the air show.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. He's the guy that wanted to rent the hangar 6.
Oh, sure. Okay.
His mom lives in Alden Park, but yeah, they're coming in for the air show. So they're flying here for it.
Nice.
So,
Hmm.
weather's forecasted to be great.
Has been for 6 months.
No, yesterday there was
Official forecast now.
Yeah.
today it was 87 and sunny, so a 1% chance of rain. Yesterday it was a 94% chance of rain, so. Any other
How
questions?
many aircraft are coming, will be here?
So, that's a tough question to answer. We'll have our 5 airplanes, well, we'll have 4 out of the 5 that are flying the air show on display.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 1, 2, 3 Lifelink, a couple other airplanes that'll be on display. As far as people flying in to watch the show, we don't know.
Have no way of knowing.
Just out of curiosity, how do you keep communications squared away? Where do you go out of?
So,
Cloud?
nope, so Painesville is a self-controlled airport.
Okay.
So basically, typically, about 10 miles out, you start announcing your intentions. So,
Every airport's, that's an uncontrolled airport is assigned a common traffic advisory frequency.
Okay.
And so Painesville's is 22.9. So on 22.9, you're just advisory or at.
Okay.
And then you just work out with your fellow peers.
Sure.
And then there are airplanes that don't have radios.
you're not
So you
really
just keep your eyes upfield.
Yeah.
That's
You're
just
not
the way it
required to
goes.
have a radio to land here. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
And it's for, yeah, as long as everybody follows the rules, it works.
Yeah.
So you look at.
For that day, we will have an air boss here though, correct?
We will have an air boss, but he's only in charge of the airport during that portion of the air show, so. The FAA actually recommended that we issue the NOTAMs on that Monday before the air show. So next Monday, we'll start issuing NOTAMs already, so. Me and you can sit down and figure that out.
Yep.
But yeah, well, Las Vegas was CTAP for, what, a couple hours during COVID?
Vegas was?
Yeah.
Oh, because the tower.
Because the tower shut down.
No, dude, they never shut it down. They kept it rolling. They went to contract advisory frequency.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was same as Painesville, was Las Vegas Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, same with Midway, twice.
Yep. So you have a large, very large international airport that is operating just like Painesville.
Whatever.
You have international flights coming from Hawaii. That's,
Wow.
hey, we're an Airbus 330 on a 10-mile final.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it works.
It works.
It works. Pilots know where to watch and when to contact.
Yep.
I got a cousin that flies a 320 for Delta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He worked for Asaba for 20 years, and then apparently for Delta, you can only fly once.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They changed the rules now, but yeah, that probably was back in the old days.
Yeah, so he applied once and got it.
Now everybody's dying for all.
Okay. Yeah, you got that flyer?
Yep, I'll run it to my trucking.
Okay.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, in about 5 minutes, we got the public coming in.
All right.
For 15 minutes of,
All right.
Anything else we need to discuss, or?
I think we're good.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
I don't think we have to do that, do we, Ron? No. Nope.
All right.
Okay, well, good enough.